So, in line with one of the bigger tutorials that's coming up, I wanted to quickly give you a quick primer into how assistants work, GPT assistants, essentially your own custom version of ChatGPT. Now, the example that I'm going to be going over in this week's long form tutorial is how you can set up a workflow for automatically answering support tickets that you might receive. So you'll get an email. Once the email is received, your GPT assistant will essentially identify what it is that the person who sent you an email is inquiring about, and then it will go and retrieve information that you have provided, and then it will go ahead, generate a response, and then generate a support ticket. Now, in this video, I want to specifically dive into the whole knowledge base part of things. So how does a GPT actually know what the answers are to your question? And it turns out it's actually pretty simple and straightforward. Now, before you recreate this, there are a few tools that you're going to need for this. First of all, your database tool, which in my case is Airtable, an automation tool, which in my case is make.com. And then, of course, you'll also need a developer account with OpenAI, which will give you access to using their GPTs, or in our case, using assistants. Now, what we do when we are creating an assistant or adding a file that is being used by an assistant is we are essentially taking information from one database. Okay, so in this case, I've got a knowledge base for the Unicorn Factory. We're packaging that all up into a file, and then we're essentially going ahead and uploading that file with all of the information to our assistant. And then when we ask a question to our assistant, it will be able to go ahead and retrieve information in there and basically provide the answer that we gave it. And so, for example, let's say I want to find out how I can become a freelancer on the Unicorn Factory. So you'd get an email somewhere along the lines of, I'm new to freelancing, how do I sign up? Now, if you were to use, say, something like ChatGPT, it wouldn't know your specific way of doing things, and it would just provide a generic response. Whereas here, what it does is it will access the database that you uploaded, and it will then go and provide an answer based on that. Now, what I'm doing here is I simply go ahead, ask it to identify the persona or the person that sent the email, what exactly it is that they're querying. Okay, and so if you have a more longer form content or longer email, you can actually break it down into what is it that they actually want. And then it will go up and it will look at the recommended response. And then it will also say, hey, if there are any additional resources to share, provide them here. But in this case, it didn't find any additional resources. But if you go and have a look here, the answer that was provided, where it says you'll be notified on the 20th of each month, is actually the information that I provide inside of my knowledge base. And so it will know what the information is that you want it to provide. So if I say, for example, hey, what is Connor's favorite color? And we run it, it will go ahead, it will check your knowledge base file that you uploaded, and it will provide a response based on what it finds. And so in this case, it doesn't actually know, okay? So it can't find any information based on that query. But now what we can do is, let's say here, we go in and we add a new item. So we can say, what is Connor's favorite color? And I'm just going to write blue. Okay. Now, what we can do is, first of all, with this new updated information, what we can do is we can update our knowledge base, okay, by simply running a workflow. And so the way that this workflow works is pretty simple and straightforward. It retrieves the latest frequently asked questions. Actually, let me go ahead and run it all. It runs a transform, so it turns all the answers into an array. Then it transforms the array into a JSON file. And the reason why we need to transform it into a JSON file is because that is the file format that we need to upload. Then it uploads the file, and then it simply assigns the uploaded file to the assistant in question. And so now, when I jump in here, when I type in what is Connor's favorite color, we should get an answer. So let's go ahead, we'll run it. didn't come through, so maybe we need to just check that the new information was updated. Actually, I understand why. It's because I haven't set it to live. So let's try this one more time. So again, an example of how you can use filters here, but let's just go in. Okay, finds the file. Now just let me make sure that I didn't. Okay, so I actually need to run it for all files. So there are a few little things I need to fix, but we'll just go and run it for all. Boom, boom, boom. And now we should be good. So if I say, what is Connor's favorite color? We should get a response. Runs the retrieval of the information. And it says, hey, Connor's favorite color is blue. All right. And so we can now use this system to, for starters, teach our assistant about our business or about whatever it is that you're doing. You can upload content that you've created. You can do whatever it is that you want with it. And now when we have taught our assistant how it works, what we can actually do now is use this particular step to help our GPT, in this case, our AI support ticket assistant, generate a response. And so now, when we receive an email, it will first of all break down, hey, what is it that this person is after? It will break down the query. It will break down who the type of customers that sent the email. It will provide a recommended response if it finds one. And then what it will do is it will craft an email that can then be sent to the client, and it will also create a support ticket inside of your Airtable account or whatever database tool you're using. So there's some incredibly powerful use cases, and the perfect thing about it is you can consistently update it by just adding new information. And if your GPT assistant can't find an answer to a question, you can just simply answer it later on, update your assistant, and you'll be good to go. And so there are a lot of powerful use cases for this. If there are any questions about it, please let me know. Other than that, I'll see you in the next